Hello, everyone, and it's Rink Rap, the podcast with Mick Colageo. I work at the Standard Times in New Bedford and write hockey. You can read it at blogs.southcoasttoday.com/Bruins and follow me on Twitter at Mick Colageo and find us on omny.fm, O-M-N-Y, Google Play and iTunes. You can find Rink Rap, the podcast. Mike Bolt works for the Hall of Fame, correct? The Hockey Hall of Fame. Not to be confused with the NHL. The Hockey Hall of Fame encompasses the whole world of hockey.
Correct. Yeah, exactly. We've got, obviously the NHL is the pinnacle league. It's the top league, and majority of the guys that are in the Hockey Hall of Fame have come through the National Hockey League. And you look at a guy like Tretiak, who's in the Hall of Fame, but never played in the NHL, for example.
Right, great. The great Russian goalie.
Yeah, Brian Kilray, the great Ottawa '67 coach in the Hall of Fame. A few other guys have come through into the Hall, not through the NHL, but the majority of the guys in the Hall are from the NHL.
Probably a lot of American hockey fanatics who don't even know who a guy like that is.
Maybe not. I mean, if you're a hockey fanatic, you probably know who Brian Kilray is. I would think if you know hockey, you know who Tretiak is, especially with the 1980 Miracle on Ice and everything like that.
Sure.
Tretiak got pulled against the
That's right.
So I would think if you're a hockey fan in the United States, you definitely know who Tretiak is.
How did you wind up getting involved with the Hockey Hall of Fame?
Not being a good hockey player, because I didn't. I wanted to win the cup like every other Canadian, and the second best thing, if you can't make it to the NHL, get a job at the Hockey Hall of Fame. And, when I got a job there back in 1995, I knew of the job with the keeper, except never thought it'd be me one day. And here I am coming in with almost 19 years doing it. So it's still an honor and a thrill to do it to this day.
And today we got the Stanley Cup with us, and I have this funny thing that I've been thinking. We're talking with Mike Bolt, who is keeper of the Cup for the Hockey Hall of Fame, and is with the Stanley Cup today, Tuesday, April 3rd, in Boston at the Copley Westin. The Boston Bruins were the first team to hoist this Stanley Cup. The original retired in 1969 to the Hockey Hall of Fame, replaced by a new bowl and neck.
Just the bowl.
Okay, and in the ever-evolving barrel rages on, and we'll have a ring replaced this year.
Exactly. Yeah, actually, this top ring here, which goes from 1954 to 1966, will be coming off. It'll be cut in half and stretched out and mounted in the vault where the original bowl sits. It was donated by Lord Stanley back in 1892 for $48.67, which a lot of people don't know that, and bring it to a grand total today are priceless. So when we take the top ring off, we move all the rings up, including the ring on the bottom. The longest you can be on the Stanley Cup is 65 years, and the shortest is 52. So the 2017 Penguins will have 52 years on the Cup before their names are enshrined in the Hockey Hall of Fame in Toronto.
And now it's sort of like a holy of holies that's in the Hall of Fame. I visited it a couple of times, and it was a fantastic thing to go see. Great take for any hockey fan. Please go see the Hockey Hall of Fame. It's wonderful. One of the things I've thought over the years, since the Bruins were the first team to be awarded this chalice, I thought that because even though the original Stanley Cup Challenge Trophy has its own unique history, this one here I've long suspected is probably more abused.
Well, I mean, I don't know if abuse is the right word. It's got probably more of the wear and tear for sure.
Yeah.
If you look at you talk to guys in the 60s and the 50s and the 40s, they never get 5 minutes with the cup. I mean, and they didn't even do parades, so the cup would be on the ice, and they didn't really even skate around with it. Like Ted Lindsay was the first guy to pick it up and do a lap around the ice. Wayne Gretzky in '87 was the first guy to pass it to a non-captain, being Steve Smith.
Oh, okay.
And that's kind of the tradition of how you see the pecking order now.
Right.
Who gets it second after the captain, and then who gets it after that, and that's another Gretzky tradition that he started. And this trophy doesn't hide behind glass like a lot of other trophies, and so it's out in the community. It really is considered the people's trophy, and that's what's great about our game is our players and our coaches, and really the guys that get to have a day with it, really share with the community they grew up in, bringing it back home, showing everybody, especially the young kids, that dreams can come true. And I think that's one of the coolest traditions we have in sports.
Has there ever been any debate or discussion in the Hall of Fame about possibly saying, okay, enough is enough with this one, and give it its place alongside the original, and introduce a successor?
Not that I've heard of. I mean, there's been times we thought about it, but I don't think there's been a big discussion about it. I mean, we've got a great silversmith up in Montreal called Lofty silversmith who've been doing it for years, and you know, some of the wear and tear, if we have an unfortunate drop, they're able to fix it. A few years ago, I thought that might be a possibility of switching it because it was getting a little banged up, but Louise and her staff did a great job of reinforcing the bowl there, and it's good to go. It's ready to go for June.
Fantastic. The Stanley Cup, I'm this close and I'll never touch it. I don't care if I ever make it to 100 years old, and I'm not a superstitious person by nature, but just because, you know, you can't win it if you touch it. I remember Jeremy Jacobs did at the Bruins golf tournament in 2006. I said, you can't win it if you touch it.
I think it worked out for him. He did win in 2011. You know,
right,
I hear that superstition. Like, I've seen guys touch it, and we're in an age now where a lot of the guys in the NHL, the Cup at some point in their life has come through their hometown when they were like 10, 14 years old. And I remember Chris Pronger showing me a picture. I think he was 11 or 12 years old, and it came through Dryden, and he's got a picture with the Cup, and obviously won in 2007. And then, you know, there's a bunch. Adam Burrish is another one that.
Blackhawks.
Yeah, exactly. He's got a picture of as a kid at the Hockey Hall of Fame, you know, giving the Cup a hug, and he actually used that picture on his invitation to a Stanley Cup party. And the other picture on the Stanley Cup invitation was him hoisting on the ice. So,
oh, that's really sweet.
So it kind of shows that it can happen.
Yeah, it sure can. And also alongside that is the Prince of Wales Trophy, I've noticed, has also been handled and won, and then the Cup got won.
Same with the Clarence Campbell too. I mean, we can show you pictures of guys not touching it and winning it, and we can tell you pictures of guys touching it and winning it. So,
so it's all how do you feel about it? Right?
I still believe the best team wins at the end of the day, and it's not because of the touching or no touching. I think at the end of the day, when you win the Prince of Wales or the Clarence Campbell, it's a big deal. Winning a conference in the National Hockey League is huge. It's really hard to do, and I think you got to cherish that moment, and then, you know, the next day you move on to the next step, and that's winning the Stanley Cup.
Thanks for bringing the Stanley Cup to Boston. I know there's a bunch of Bruins fans that hope that happens again in June. They're really behind this team. They love how they play, and they're falling in love with them, and hopefully it'll be a fun ride that should last like 5 years or so, just like it did back in 11.
Well, yeah, it all starts April 11th. Everybody's going to have to tune into NBC and see what happens.
Nothing like the first round of the playoffs.
Nothing like it. It's
Nothing
a
like
lot of late nights watching both the East and the West, and so again, tune in, and I can't wait for it to start either.
Mike Bolt, thanks so much for coming here from the Hall of Fame. Where else is your tour going to take you?
We're all over we're heading up to Providence tomorrow, and then down to Philly late tomorrow night. We'll be in Philly for Thursday, and then off to Vegas Friday, Saturday, I think maybe Toronto Sunday, and then New York. Things are still changing on the fly, which is what our game does. We always change on the fly, so I'll find out more about next week later. That's
the Stanley Cup edition of Rink Rap, the podcast. Reminder, you can hear it on omni.fm, that's OMNY, on Google Play and iTunes, and follow on Twitter at Mick Colageo, and read Rink Rap the blog at blogs.southcoasttoday.com/Bruins. Thanks so much to my videographer, Kevin Votor, longtime Bruins season ticket holder from Melrose, a.k.a. Kevin from Melrose. Thanks a bunch, Kevin. Happy hockey, everyone.